The Audi A1 Sportback has firmly established itself as the ultimate supermini, the essence of democratic downsizing. This second generation version is smarter, more efficient and better equipped, and remains a seductive package for small car buyers. Luxury makers often cut corners to drive down the cost of their smaller models, and it shows. Not Audi. In any form you choose, this A1 Sportback would always feel reassuringly expensive.
You sense right from the outset in driving this second generation A1 that it's a car with quite a bit more of its own personality, even though, as before, all the engineering is still of Polo parentage. The steering's probably the biggest change. It could still use a bit more feel, but it's much sharper than before and allows you to place the car exactly where you want it through the bends. Clearly, the development team were looking to go some way towards the drive dynamics of a rival Mini 5-door hatch. But not all the way. Audi buyers wouldn't want that Mini model's firm ride, notchy gearbox and questionable levels of refinement, and none of those things are served up here. Unfortunately, you don't quite get the Mini's endearingly cheeky, darty demeanour either, even in an S-Line model like this one with stiffer sport suspension. But this second generation A1 moves a step towards that without any noticeable dilution of the two dynamic attributes that attracted so many premium-minded small car buyers to its predecessor, namely exceptional refinement and exemplary ride quality by supermini standards. We'll come back to that, but first you're probably going to want to know what's new on the engine front. Not that much is the answer, though Audi's done its best to disguise the fact with a range of new model designations. Diesel power is notable by its absence, and instead there's a choice of efficient TFSI petrol units with outputs ranging from 95 to 200 PS, all enhanced by turbocharging and direct injection. All can be matched to smooth S-Tronic dual-clutch auto transmission on request, which on most models is a 7-speed setup. Things kick off with the 25 TFSI derivative, which has a 1-litre 3-cylinder power plant offering 95 PS. But the vast majority of likely buyers will prefer the 30 TFSI model we're trying here, which uses a 116 PS version of the same engine. With a manual gearbox and 15-inch wheels, a 30 TFSI variant delivers a WLTP-rated NEDC2 combined cycle fuel figure of up to 58.9 mpg and up to 108 grams per kilometre of CO2. The next version up, the 4-cylinder 1.5-litre 35 TFSI derivative, has 150 PS and can do almost as well thanks to a clever cylinder deactivation system. A 2-litre 200 PS 40 TFSI hot hatch model tops off the range. Audi's designers were treading a fine line here. The people who didn't buy the original version of this model and chose a 5-door Mini instead were looking for something more distinctive and fashionable. With this second generation A1, Ingolstadt wanted to better please these people while continuing to satisfy those who like this model precisely because of its Russian doll Audi brand authenticity. This time round, there's no 3-door body style because only 20% of buyers of the previous generation model wanted that. The 5-door Sportback format that remains is 6mm narrower and 30mm lower than before as part of Audi's efforts to make the shape more interesting. At the front, it's a lot more distinctive this time round. Twin creases on each side of the bonnet flowing down into this wide, low-placed single-frame grille, above which are 3 flat bonnet slits which pay homage to the Sport Quattro, the brand's rally icon from 1984. Now, flanking these are the full LED headlights that come fitted to every variant, their illuminated signature supposedly echoing dynamic hydroplane wing shapes from the world of sailing. Time to move inside. Enter through the long doors, which shut with a satisfying thunk, and you'll discover what you probably will have expected to find, the smartest cabin in the class. You don't, of course, get the double screens on the centre console that would feature in Audi's larger models, but the smart graphics from that swanky setup feature, and for the first time on any small car, there's a standard fitment of a digital instrument screen to replace conventional dials. Surrounding all of this is a dashboard that exudes solid quality and has some lovely touches, providing you specify your car with a bit of care. It's all very nice and a world away from the budget ambience of a volume brand supermini, but stops just short of being truly luxurious, even in this top spec model. The second generation version of this Sportback model really does feel a size larger than before. Audi says it's 43mm more shoulder room, 28mm more elbow room and 5mm more headroom here in the front than there was in the previous design. Time to take a look in the back. Now, there ought to be big improvements here too, given that this second generation Sportback model's extra 43mm of interior length and 94mm increase in wheelbase. That's enabled the fitment of rear doors that are much wider than those in a rival Mini 5-door hatch. And once you've used them to gain entry, you'll find enough space for a couple of 6-footers to sit behind comparably sized adults in the front, though knees will be brushing the seat backs in front. And out back, well, it's mostly all good news. Boot space has risen markedly over what was provided by the previous generation model. The 335-litre capacity figure representing a 55-litre increase. Total capacity with everything flat is 1,090 litres. Audi knows just what kind of person is likely to buy this A1. Someone who wants an entry point into the world of German luxury motoring. A car with its own styling personality and a cabin appointed with the kind of care and sophistication you'd expect from a premium brand. It can't quite entertain like a Mini, plus it's less interesting to look at and probably a touch less personalisable too. But on the other hand, the A1 is more refined, has a much better quality of ride and is usefully larger inside, all of which will matter to likely buyers. But not quite as much as the fact that if you climb out of an A4 or an A6 into one of these, the feeling will be much the same. The essence of a large luxury car really has been distilled into a smaller, more accessible one, just as Audi promised.